Hello everybody and welcome back to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we are on Feast of Hades, map we've seen quite a few times on the channel, either played as a team map or a 1v1. And we have our contestants today, Mr. Ubivator, only a single point of OS behind our other player here, Barcast TV. A friend of the channel and a long-time bar YouTuber himself, as well as Twitch streamer. Don't forget to go say hi on his channel. I'll make sure I add it in the description. And Barcast today choosing to start as Cortex, and also, interestingly enough, starting with just solars here, rather than starting with the winds. This is going to mean a bit of a slower start, because he's using a lot more metal here. And his opponent, obviously, Ubivator, Armada, going just winds to start. This is going to give Ubivator a quicker start because of the wind, being at 12. But if the wind does drop at any moment, Ubivator is going to be extremely lacking on energy. Now, as we see here, ticks being spammed out predominantly from Ubivator at the beginning. A Resbot here. This is to get all of this yummy crystals that are right outside of his base. You can see he's actually already queued a huge bunch up right behind him, a little hole here, and then this top right hand corner. Now, as we zoom out to give a bit of an overview of the map here, we see there's a significant difference in start position choices. When we look at Ubivator's side here, Barcast has started here. Whereas the other way around, we actually see Ubivator starting here on Barcast. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that if, and this is the if Ubivator can hold here and here on this side, he is going to have a stronger position to send units out from. He's closer to the front line with his spawn factory. And he's also should be safer, right? Because he can expand that way. Let me delete that for a second. And he can expand that way with this con. And then this con can either go there or there. And then another one, he can spawn, go around here. And in theory, if he controls these chokes, all of those metal points are safe. Okay? And because of the factory, if something starts losing, where his position of factory is, he can just send stuff out quickly from the factory and like get to these chokes a lot quicker. But the downside is, right, like right now, if he doesn't have control of that, then he gets units in his back line just like this, and he starts losing metal extractors and losing constructors. And we saw that on this map before versus Randy, where Randy was positioned up here, actually. Now, that's this side of the map. Barcast side. Now, Barcast side, in theory, is easier for him to defend. All he needs to do is defend this line here and this line, and then all of this high ground area is safe. It cannot be traversed by other units other than these sections. So that does mean his initial base should be safer. However, all of these extra metal points are then going to be that much harder to hold. It's going to take more resources for him to put something up out there than if he had his base out there and was able to send units quicker. So, different ideologies here as to how they want to kind of defend. Barcast just wants to defend with probably more statics than units, and probably doesn't trust his ability. Now, Ubivator right now stalling really hard. Wind is a lot lower than what it was to begin with. Also, just still producing more and more wind rather than adding like a single solar in here to help with the shortfall. And he's also building construction turrets, construction bots all at the same time. He's running a bit short. The single resbot is trying to do its best here to keep up and eat all the crystal, but it's not quite enough. And we can actually see there's one Barcast little scout here right at the back. It would be nice for him to nom on all of that. Meanwhile, as we look over here, Barcast actually still to produce a single windmill. What that does mean is that he shouldn't really ever have energy issues depending on wind. But, and here's the big but, he's chosen to go vehicles. Now, vehicles obviously require a large quantity of metal. Now, if he'd gone boss, I could see this working quite well because he would be able to build solars and build bots very effectively. But he hasn't. He's gone vehicles. So that's going to limit the amount of units he's able to pop out. Surprisingly, though, right now, as we look at the metal produced, currently Barcast is in the lead substantially. 700 metal ahead right now. Energy produced, though, is still a long way in advance for a Ubivator with well over 15k difference in energy production. Now, you're wasting that energy, though, doesn't really matter much. As we quickly check this, energy excess, both players actually not accessing much energy at all. There is some metal converted, which I don't have the stats on. And no, Hell on Toast, it is not a map. This is quite an old map, actually. Oh, interesting. Look at this tick. This is giving some pretty good vision. Is Barcast even aware it exists? Yes. Okay. But he has no way of getting up there, so it doesn't matter. And just as we said, this area around the back proving difficult for Ubivator to control properly, and losing a construction bot. But Barcast not really applying too much pressure just yet. Attempting to now with just a few incisors, but you can just see the field of LLTs that are being placed down here on the middle mark. Now, what I forgot to mention here on this map is there are several key points for higher value metal. I'm just drawing them on the map now. These spots do have increased metal production. You would think that players would rush to those, but they aren't. It is actually only a single 1 point extra metal. And so you would think that it doesn't make that big of a deal, but it adds up over time. Barcast attempting to push through with the incisors and does manage to make a hole. But with only 2 incisors left, how much damage is he going to be able to inflict? Now, he doesn't actually know where the base is, and because of that, he is going to run straight into all these pawns. But to select Barcast's view, he has been made aware of where the base is. So that is good information. And more incisors now making their way in as well, getting the expansion con, which is very, very important. And this, like, triple metal point loss is going to hurt Ubivator quite a lot. We can see that the metal production difference here already is starting to slowly increase to Barcast's favor. And bear in mind here that technically Ubivator has more map control. You know, Ubivator has expanded out to this middle point here, whereas Barcast hasn't at all. Barcast only just leaving his, like, starting box. Apparently, according to this Mr. Chicken Tasty here, Barcast has been playing this map a lot. So you would think that his experience with this map would lead him to win against Ubivator, but who knows? Ubivator is one of the best players in the game at the moment. Along up right at the top there with Autopilot and the others. And you can see that from him just constantly able to harass Barcast here in multiple different areas. A fight was just about to break out, but both players decided to pull back. And the Ubivator now, we've seen this a few times, is players building tidal in this water section here. With it being 15th strength, it's quite difficult to kill the tidals unless you go air. But it seems that Ubivator actually decided to push over there with his comm instead. The pawns go right in on the incisors, trying to get them surrounded. But it does seem like the incisors coming out on top. The construction vehicle was taken out though. But the tick spam proving to be a little bit difficult for Barcast to handle, losing a construction vehicle of his own. He's still up 2 on the once he's managed to kill of Ubivator so far. Missing the D-gun, unfortunately. Ubivator, though, with his commander there, able to get a ton of reclaim. 1.3k is quite a lot of reclaim to be able to get. Barcast able to clean up his back line a bit. And now air coming in. Is that a construction turret on that air transport? Yes, that is a ridiculously ballsy play there by Barcast. He really wanted that reclaim, so he sent a construction turret in to get it. Okay. I can't say I've ever seen anyone do that. That is definitely a first. Barcast, though, trying to make a bit of a dent here by pushing through, just forcing Ubivator to react to him, but it's not working because Ubivator doesn't seem to really care. Centurions are out, and this big push of pawns now about to head down. How about it? Is this... Oh, no, it's not. Okay, never mind. I was like, is that con turret working off of the air transport? If so, that'd be ridiculous. Will he save the con turret? Will the air transport? No, he doesn't. But he will save the constructor. Meanwhile, I did miss it, but the incisors tried to make it round the top, but just never quite made it there. Instead, they kind of caught in the middle. Now transition over to full-on brutes from Barcast. This will make it a bit harder for him to continue to use pawns. And the incisors try to push right through the middle and did not make it at all. Oh, but they got another con. Ubivator just losing cons left, right, and center. Currently on 2 factories, though, as well as a couple of advanced solars. Now, Barcast, I feel, is losing ground quite a bit here. Realistically, we're kind of seeing map control that's probably that. This up here, although it's technically controlled, it's not. Realistically, these armed metal extractors are good, but they're not that good if you don't have any energy, and that is exactly the situation Barcast is in right now. And you can see these exploiters don't last very long. And directly behind them are some maces as well. Shurikens were out, but you can see up the top. Oh, surprisingly, the top survived for now. All of these exploiters have made it a lot slower for Barcast to build out. But double exploiter in a close proximity has managed to stop this push on the top. There's a huge group here, though. And a lot of reclaim to be had as well from those turrets. But with main tanks arriving, if Barcast can manage this, he may be in a good position. But losing more and more ground. These forces not being microed by Ubivator. Instead, focusing on this left attack here. Barcast just being applied pressure on just every side of the map. Losing ground over here on the right. That's where we're going to switch to now, as these forces of 4 Centurions and a few Maces try and make their push. Barcast with just a few brutes left. Won't be enough to stop that. And he's desperately rushing forces down to the bottom left corner, Barcast. Surprisingly, though, Ubivator falling back in an attempt to try and desperately save the Resbots, which he does manage to do, whilst also taking on those 2 tanks. There's 1 pawn here just kind of left. Slowly but surely, though, the noose is creeping ever closer. Barcast just doesn't seem to be able to get a break here. Ubivator not really threatened at all for a while now. Just the sheer unit numbers. Bear in mind, Barcast was ahead right at the beginning. Now look. Look at all the sea of red. Currently, Barcast is ahead on metal produced at the moment. But not by much. Look at this res fields here. 800, 700, 500, 200. And it's getting harder and harder for Barcast to maintain all of the angles of attack. This is a pretty difficult 1v1 map for that exact reason. You've got so many angles you have to defend from that it's pretty hard to, like, hold on. Barcast doing a tremendous effort here to try and push forward to take some of the aggro from a different location for a change and take back the initiative, but with him losing tanks constantly on this left-hand side, the Resbots are already there, ready to resurrect all of the tanks. Barcast needs, like, a big play of some type, and I don't know what he's going to do. Now, this game is far from over. Either player could make a mistake. And Barcast being very ballsy here with his commander right on the front line with just a few tanks to kind of hold on. We see lots of these Hercules transports. There are no air defense here. Shurikens could make a difference. This air transport isn't actually carrying anything. But army value, because of the quantity of tanks and how expensive they are, is currently on Barcast's favor. But all of the reclaim recently was not going to him. He is trying to get those metal points back up and running. The reclaim is there for him if he can do it. Air transport's getting destroyed. AA now in the actual army of Ubivator. And it wouldn't surprise me if we're about to see Tech 2 from Ubivator. Oh, well, there you go. Now, the reason why you say that is because there's been a bit of a lack of attacking going on from Ubivator for a little while now. You can kind of see that there's been not really... The armies haven't been being replenished on the front. And because Barcast is clearly, like, gaining ground again, there's got to be a reason for that. And that reason is because of the transition to Tech 2. Now, army value is advanced Barcast right now, but he needs to be careful. He's transitioned to Tech 2 now himself around the same sort of time. So he needs to be careful to not kind of throw away that advantage. He did see the Barcast went Tech 2, and as we select Barcast, he is not aware that Ubivator is Tech 2. Only just realized this constructor is running aimlessly towards the middle. interesting to see all of these kind of like stuff that's queued up already. I was like, is there miles away? It's from this guy over here. He's like, yeah, build that, build that, build that. Then build a pop-up mechs, an artillery, pop-up, AA, second mechs, pop-up. Just like, damn. He could also take this res Cortex guy here, and then he'd have both factions if he really wanted to be ballsy. Now, Barcast is building up a sizable army on this bottom side. There are quite a few tanks here. They are taking 3 damage right now. And this guy is actually probably gonna... Oh no, he spotted it. It's also kind of why sound design is key. You're hearing that shooting, you're like, where is that shooting going on? You know exactly what it is. So you're able to deal with it. Barcast has a pretty strong position in this bottom corner. At the moment, he actually has both of the high value metal points on either flank. Which is surprising that Ubivator didn't try and take any from him. We can see energy completely stalled out right now. And that has meant that Ubivator's economy has ground to a halt with no energy whatsoever. He's also building a Tech 2 air factory, which is notoriously expensive for energy production. Meanwhile, Barcast still has a lot of solar left over. He's already got a fusion up as well, which is big. He's been a bit greedy, you could argue, if anything. Hounds are starting to make their way through the LLTs there. Meanwhile, at the bottom, this Dragon's Maw will do enough to stop any kind of units popping up. Oh, he's sending actually some more units around there, which is quite surprising. Does Ubivator not know what's there? Oh, he doesn't have very good radar coverage, actually. Probably thinks that this is it. Meanwhile, hounds are just raining down damage. Air transporting Tsars. Wow. Okay. He's gonna drop them like right on the hounds. They're gonna be like, you got nowhere to run. Got all the shurikens sat ready to go. And by the time that Ubivator sees this, it's gonna be too late. Oh, he's actually dropped it short. Tsar getting good value already. Meanwhile, Ghost and a single hound on the top just to find a bit of pressure. But already into sharpshooters and welders from Ubivator here. He does have Tech 2 air factory built, but nothing out of it yet. Wouldn't surprise me if he's getting it just for the comms to spread out and get as much damage as possible. Oh, the air transported Tsar on the other flank here. Sat in the air and is going to get killed. Drop it, Barcast. Drop it. Oof. That was a bit risky. Tsar's now well and truly positioned in a very strong defensive posture now, one on either side. Barcast actually having the APM here to micro those dropships is quite good, to be honest with you. Normally not something that gets used, but a single Tsar will get EMP'd by 2 of them. And the sniper bots make short work of the Tsar. And now Barcast having a bit of a hole in his defense. Autopilot generating... I mean, this is a good point. Look at Ubivator's base. Right? Look at Barcast's base. Now, Barcast does have 3 fusions, almost. But Ubivator has 474 wins. They're currently generating 3k energy that cost 18,000 metal to build. EMP bots still proving that they have some value here. And Zars doing a bit of friendly fire as well. Oh, the gunship's trying to micro down the flak there. That does die. It's only the fighters left, and the fighters do come in just as the flak die. Surprisingly, though, not really focusing on the gunships at all. Managing, though, to get the gunships, and now the air fight happens, which is probably going to work out. Red's advantage does. Tigers make a push in. There is a lot of defenses here, and the sniper bots are close enough by. Shurikens, though, are doing a fairly decent job at stopping this push. This single res tick managed to fight off. And Barcast on the offensive. Rattlesnake almost dead. Unfortunately, Barcast not focusing it. It's only got 800 health. Oh, but the Tsar shot comes in. Does plenty of damage to that pop-up. And that Rattlesnake will die pretty quickly here. There we go. And that is Ubivator's presence removed from that north side middle area. There are still sniper bots applying pressure, but realistically, Barcast doing a very, very good job. Barcast with an anti-nuke up already. Tech 2 Air also out from Barcast now as well. We've just saw it on the mini-map. A slow push on the left-hand side. And Ubivator with Tech 3. Tech 3 that just happens to be stuck. Question is, how long is it going to take Ubivator to notice that he's just amassing Tech 3 in his base? Now, Marauders, as we've seen time and time again, are good Tech 3, but they do have their limits. And those limits are basically anything with high alpha can kill them extremely quickly. Sniper bots, like, almost two-shot them, I think. Something silly like that. Banishers work really well against them. And Barcast is tumbleweeds as well. Banishers are also out. Barcast able to get some collateral there as well, as a tumbleweed blows up a hound. Gunship's getting killed pretty quickly. Barcast doing really well on the north side, but on the south side, he is losing considerable amount of ground. Finally, the Marauders are let free. Question is, Barcast, surprisingly, actually has forces moving into the middle right now. Banishers will do a good amount of damage. This stuff's going to get cleaned up, so that's not the problem. Okay, Marauders have been spotted really early. Now, for Barcast's sake, this is really useful. Barcast is aware now that Tech 3 is on the field, and Marauders' strengths rely in their speed and agility and surprise. Without surprise, Marauders can be defended against quite well. And we'll see Barcast is actually building gunships here. He's already got rid of his Tech 2 factory. That might be some poor timing from Barcast as he's trying to rush out a tier 3 lab of his own here, with Shiva's being his go-to. The question is he going to survive long enough to be able to do that? And the Marauders making a big dent. No banishers here, but the Tigers still doing a relatively good job. Most important ones, though, are these three. Marauders do have their own anti-air, but against Tech 2 Air, they don't quite cut it. We did see for a second there, Ubivator was very tempted to sending his own fighters to try and save these, but didn't in the end. Ubivator did manage to take out a big chunk of air cons, though, of Barcast. And to be fair, this is the first major base kind of damage we've seen in a long time. These gunships doing a good job, enough to force back the Marauders. Air from the land units, though, on the side are making the gunships less effective. And Barcast has had to muster all forces back to the front. But Shiva's out now from Barcast. Rattlesnakes coming out from Ubivator. One thing of note, though. Barcast anti-nuke covers his entire base, right? This is a big hole. These advanced fusions are going to be built where there is no anti-nuke. And speaking of anti-nuke, Ubivator going for the nuke himself. Now he could just use it to make holes, right? Make a hole here, make a hole here, make a hole here. And it might work, but Barcast with a decent chunk of units and a good anti-nuke in his base, he's not going to be able to do much damage. Those Marauders are trying to make their way in now. Again, they're not willing to take that straight fight. And it does seem like on the bottom side now is Barcast's strength, on the top is Ubivator's strength. And we actually see Barcast is pushing pretty strong on this bottom side with 4 Shivas. Rattlesnake has been built. It looks like he's maybe changed his mind. Barcast in a pretty tough spot. He could path like this and do some decent damage, but with all these tumbleweeds, they do quite a lot of damage, and kind of need to be a bit protective of them. Achievers are pushing off the forces, but the spy bots yet to be spotted here. Trying to prime position, and Shivas don't play nice with sniper bots either. And there we go. That's one Shiva dead. And a lone Shiva does not last long. Looking over now on this other side. 3 Razorbacks versus Shivas. And you know what? I'm surprised at how well those Razorbacks are doing against Shivas. I don't know if Razorbacks have been buffed. I never knew them as being quite so strong versus Shivas. Oh, but Kraganath's also being deployed here by Barcast. Mixing it up a bit when it comes to Tech 3, Shivas and Kraganath. Meanwhile, the nuke is almost done for Ubivator. Ubivator switched over completely to Razorbacks. An advanced fusion was built, but still no anti-nuke covering that. Bit of a ballsy move, to be honest with you. Barcast has not gone nukes at all on his own. He's just pumping out more air and more Shivas. He is making a slow push here. Razorbacks are kind of providing cover for the sniper bots. You just see how quickly the volley of sniper bots here kill Shivas almost instantly. Sniper bots are just extremely good. One thing is due to all of the damage that they do, there's not often a wreck left behind. He says as 2 wrecks left behind, one after another. Forces were cleaned up along the bottom though. Although there's still a few hounds left here that aren't really doing anything. Just tech free everywhere. Kraganath is running to safety. Oh, this is really sneaky perimeter camera here. Which somehow has not been spotted yet. Wow, there's quite a few of those actually. He's got another spy bot over there. Bits and bobs placed around, and Barcast is losing ground. Oh, he is completely falling out of tech free. Nuke was played as a defensive nuke and missed its target. The nuke play is now up. Barcast fully aware that nukes are an option for Ubivator. Is that why? No, he could have gone vehicles and got mobile anti-nukes, but instead he did not go that option. I don't quite know why he's chosen to go Tech 2 bots here. At the moment he's just focusing on Twitches. Shivas are slowly pushing down on this bottom side. And Barcast may have the ability here to inflict some major damage. The sniper bots are all clumped up on this north side and are not able to really make a move right now. Barcast pushing out a huge quantity of grunts to kind of take the spam off of the snipers and to try and catch some of the spy bots. A lot of the spy bots are getting caught as well before they're able to inflict their EMPs. Oh, but the nuke this time does hit home and does manage to take out a good chunk of Shivas and gets the rest of them low enough. The question is Barcast going to push in with his remaining Shivas here, or is he going to fall back? It looks like he's choosing to fall back. Manages to get one set of the wind farm. The little amount of fighters he has now is coming to try and take out those gunships, but Barcast does not have the fighters required to do that. Kind of would say this might be worth suiciding these, to be honest with you. There's so much going on. A Titan has been spotted. A single mortar also causing problems for Barcast here, as it's just able to get in and focus down the metal extractors. This LLT almost manages to kill the Marauder on his own. That would have been hilarious. Does only have 3% left. And it's dead. Now, what is Barcast's plan here? Double air, double gunships, and grunts. Lots and lots of grunts. You know what grunts counters are? Crawling bombs. The Resbots did try and get some free tech free here. Oh, the nuke in the bottom corner. It's kind of a shame that this wasn't nuked. Can you imagine the impact it would have had if Barcast had his own nukes? Grunt's not able to inflict any damage, really. Shiva's also being resurrected here. Oh, gunships are just being thrown right at all the sniper bots. Sniper bots are expensive. And Ubivator had managed to build up a substantial clump of them for a while. Surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, he's built 2 air fabs. But air superiority is very much on Barkar's side. And with that, he's able to actually shut down the attack along the north, but Razorbacks do a good job at dealing with air and grunts. You see them just insta-pop those grunts there. Barkas needs something a bit more substantial to deal with Razorback. Now rebuilding his experimental factory. At the crawling bombs doing their job at slowly taking out the metal extractors. And Barkas now put into a hole. In the spectator HUD, we see a tremendous amount of stuff red. But Barkas has not given up just yet. He has faith. He also probably has a plan. Not that I know what it is, but I'm believing that he has one. The Tech 2, second Tech 2 Air Lab is reclaimed. Going back to Shiva's. Oh. But now Barkas realizing it's all over. He just can't keep up. And a tremendous game. Both players did really well. Barkas almost had it quite a few times. Honestly, I think Ubivator would have lost a lot if it wasn't for that defensive nuke. And as you can just see, look at the amount of wind Ubivator has built. As we look at energy produced, huge amount of difference when energy produced. The question is, did he use all that energy? And yes he did. And that is exactly why he was able to run away. Metal produced here, you can just see a huge difference in metal produced purely because of the amount of energy that Ubivator was creating. Well, that was a great 1v1. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.